virtual learners. It's time for us to read some stories about wintertime. Today's story is called Snow Friends. As always, when the story's over, we're going to think about who the characters were in the story, where the story happened, the setting, and then the events. What happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Are you ready? Snow Friends was written by M. Christina Butler and Tina McNaughton. Snow Friends. Okay, so before I even start to read the words, I usually take a look at the picture and I start to think about what the story might be about. So I can definitely see the season, what's happening. I see the setting. I can see that there's a cave, and I can see that there's snow on the ground. Oh, but a few little flowers poking through. And then I see right here, it looks like probably one of the characters. What is it? You've got it, a sweet little bear. So before I even read any of the words of the story, I can start thinking what the story is going to be about by looking at the picture. What else do you notice in the picture today? Okay, Little Bear woke early from his deep winter sleep. As he yawned and stretched, he looked out of the bear cave and gasped. The world was covered with a thick white blanket, sparkling in the sunshine. "Oh!" he cried, "Snow!" And he raced out to play. So they said just now that the bear had woken up from his long winter sleep. I'm not sure if you know about this, but there are some animals that sleep all winter long. It's called hibernating. Bears are one of those animals. So right at the start of when it gets to get cold, they find a spot and they go to sleep for the entire winter. So that's what Little Bear has done. Little Bear went rolling and skidding down the hillside, racing faster and faster. He rushed through the trees, shaking the branches to make tiny white snowstorms. He stomped and stamped in the crunchy snow, making trails of footprints that circled and twirled. Now, when I read that part of the story about making footprints in the snow, I had a connection. A connection is when what I'm reading reminds me of something else. Now, in the mornings, I like to go for walks with my new puppy, Gwen. And as we walk, if there's been snow that happened, I see my footprints in the snow, and I also see Gwen's little footprints. So when they talked in this part of the story, when they said making trails of snow prints that circled and twirled, it made me think of what I do. That's my connection. Little Bear climbed up a hill and gazed out at the whiteness. The mountains and forests were still and silent. Now look at how the picture matches those words. The mountains and forests were still and silent. He looked around for someone to play with, but he couldn't see anyone anywhere. "Hello!" he cried. "Hello!" came back his echo, but no one else replied. Little Bear was all alone. "Oh dear," he sighed. "If only I had someone to play with." And he fell with a plop into a big snowdrift. Have you ever done that when you've been out playing in the snow? Have you ever just plopped over, fallen into a snowdrift? If you have, then you just made a connection to the story as well. But then Little Bear had an idea. He began to make a snowball bigger and bigger. Can you make a smart guess about what Little Bear is doing with these snowballs? What do you think? That's called a prediction. Let's check your prediction and see if you're right. If I make a really big snowball, he thought, I could build a snowman, and then I would have someone to play with. Was your prediction correct? So he rolled and rolled a shiny round snowman body until it was nearly as big as he was. Little Bear was so busy with his snowball that he didn't see Otter swimming across the lake. "Hello," cried Otter, racing up. "What are you doing?" "I'm making a snowman, the best snowman ever," replied Little Bear. "Wow," said Otter. "That sounds like fun. Can I help?" "That would be great," said Little Bear. So they pushed and they puffed until they couldn't roll the snowball any further. Little Bear and Otter stopped for a rest, but just then They heard a muffled voice. "Hey, what's going on?" it cried. "Everything's gotten dark." "My snowball's talking," squeaked Little Bear. "No," laughed Otter. "The noise is underneath. Quick!" And together they pushed as hard as they could until the big snowball creaked away to one side. Oh, see right here, it shows this lump and then the stuff coming out of it. What do you predict is inside of the snow? How can we check our prediction? Keep reading. A rabbit popped up from his burrow. "Who turned off the lights?" he said crossly. "Sorry," said Little Bear. "We were building the best snowman ever." "And it got stuck on top of your burrow," giggled Otter. "Funny snowman," said Rabbit, laughing. "It doesn't have a head." "We haven't made his head yet," said Little Bear. "You can help if you like." So Rabbit helped to make the snowman's head and gave him a big, happy smile. Then Otter went back to the river for some sticks. Little Bear found a few nuts left in his winter store. Rabbit picked out the very best carrot from his pantry. They built the snowman together with Otter's sticks for arms and the nuts from Little Bear's store for his eyes. Finally, Rabbit climbed onto Little Bear's shoulders and pushed the carrot nose in place. Otter laughed and cheered. "Hooray! The best snowman ever!" was finished. Really quickly, I wanted you to notice something. When I said that, I didn't just say the best snowman ever. I said the best snowman ever! Take a look why. All of my other letters are written mostly in lowercase. We have a couple capitals, right? Like after a period or at the start of names. But right here, all of the letters are capitals. I call those shouting letters. When an author uses all capitals, it means it's super important. So that's why I said the best snowman ever was finished. Have you ever seen that in a book before? For the rest of the day, they played with the snowman in the snow. They played hide and seek and chase, and huge snowball fights left them giggling and gasping for breath. At last, as the sky turned orange and the sun set, the three friends talked about what games they would play the next day. "Let's go exploring," said Rabbit. "But what about Snowman?" said Little Bear. "We can't leave him all on his own." "Let's build him a friend then," said Otter. So they rolled and patted and shaped some more until they made a perfect little snowman. By the time they had finished, the stars were twinkling in the sky. Tired and happy, they crashed into a heap and watched with wonder as the snowman and his friend turned to silver in the moonlight. "He's the best snowman in the world!" "Oh, but look at it," whispered Little Bear. "And he'll never be lonely now that he has a friend," said Otter. "Yes," Rabbit smiled, "just like us." Did you enjoy that story? So let's think, who are the characters in this book? Well, hopefully you remembered the very first character we met, Little Bear. Who else? The cover shows us Otter. There was one more. Did you say Rabbit? If you did, then you got the characters in the story. Remember, the character is who is in the story. And how about where this story happened? Well, we know it was outside. We know that it started in Little Bear's cave, and it was by a place where there were mountains. Now, what happened in the story? Can you think about what happened in the beginning? In the middle? In the end? In the beginning, Little Bear got out of his cave, but was very lonely. He decided to make a snowman. And then Otter and Rabbit were two friends that he met along the way as they made their snowman. They also decided to make another snowman so their first snowman wouldn't be lonely. Think about the end of the story. In the end, they realized the best snowman ever would never be lonely. But also they didn't have to be lonely because they had each other. I hope that you enjoyed the story, Snow Friends. I look forward to reading more stories with you soon.